Let's go, boys. We're on episode 25. Let's go.
That's scary.
We got Ricky, we got Chris, we got Ben in the corner, we got Riff, and we got myself, Curtis, up in here. And the first topic is going to be kind of nice. What if gaming never existed in your life? What would you be doing?
Ricky, the quietest one, the George Harrison of the group. You're talking first this episode.
Oh, sweet.
Let Ricky break into the podcast.
Give me time to think.
Yeah.
Seriously, if we still weren't doing like the whole gaming thing, I think I'd still be at the swaps, but doing tools because I love tools.
You'd be collecting tools.
Do you remember I used to get boxes, tools, cameras? I love the hunt.
You still do actually collect.
Yeah.
I admit, I see you pick up tools here and then. Remember last week he was looking at the Ryobi on the edge of the table and he's like, oh, how much?
How many times?
It was a rigid.
So you think you would have been like a mechanic then?
Well, my dad's a mechanic, but I think him and like my uncle, my grandpa, they all used to do this. So I love it. Like I just love grabbing like a good deal. Like, do I need that? Heck no. Is it a deal? Yeah.
Do you normally like ever like work on your car by yourself?
I do my own oil changes, all that kind of good stuff. I have to.
One of my favorite things he's picked up at the swap that's unrelated to gaming was the blower.
Oh, yeah. We use that all the time.
Nicole loves that thing.
Dude, this guy makes his wife do the yard work.
No way.
Yeah, he does. We had a long conversation about that. I remember in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, give me your gardener's number, Aaron. I don't know why I'm doing this. So I was like, well, get waxed, Nicole.
Do you think that like without gaming, you'd go into like a different line of profession or like passion?
I think I'd be more of a movie buff, truth be told. Like, I'll still be doing the swap meet thing, but I love movies. Like, if I didn't do gaming, like back in the day, especially, like if I wasn't playing, I'd be watching movies because I enjoyed it so much. I was that, I don't know.
What's your favorite genre of movie?
Action. Like I like Mad Max, all that good stuff. Like I like.
Do you consider like Marvel movies action movies?
They're action, sci-fi. Some like I love some of them, but some of them just like meh.
Yeah.
Like Captain America, I love Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Something about America.
Heck yeah, same, bro. Christopher, what about you? You actually would probably be, me and you would probably be impacted the most because we both kind of make a good amount of our income comes from somewhat in the gaming realm. You own a store.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, what the heck would I be doing? I mean, in a prior life, I was in real estate.
Do you think you would have kept it or is it something you would have got over?
I did like it when I was in real estate. I was in commercial real estate, so I did like that. But I always I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Video games fell into my lap of what it wasn't that I wanted to be an entrepreneur first and then video games fit well with that. So I think I would have found something else entrepreneurial to do. But I'm also thinking back to like when we were kids, like what would we have done when we were kids without games?
Yeah. Do you still have your real estate headshot?
I do.
I would love to see that,
I have a suit and tie on. I have short hair.
Ooh. Oh, is that the one that's on Facebook?
It might be. It might be on Facebook.
Can you send that to me?
On Facebook.
Can you send that to me so I can like insert it?
I'm young. I'm probably like 25.
I mean, you're still young, man.
It's like Curtis's age now. I can't even imagine you. Like, here's, I guess, my question. I can't imagine you looking like that. For the audio listeners, he's very, Marvel shirt, joggers, Air Force Ones, a Bonk's Adventure, long, scruffy.
Chiseled.
Throw
that in there,
Thank you.
Curtis likes to throw that in. Are you the kind of person that even nowadays the way you look now is such a part of your life? Like when you go to like fancy events, do you get way dressed up, or are you more like me where like I can't wear a suit? Like I wear like green pants and like kind of a button up that's like floral and weird.
This is my attire like day in, day out.
Yes.
So, and that took me a long time to get to this stage. It's a funny story. When I got out of real estate and I was transitioning into owning video game stores, I came from a very corporate world. And I used to do the funniest thing. I was so trained on being in corporate world that even after I'd opened my store, like I remember going to meet the landlord the first time to sign the lease for my first store location. This is 2011. I went in suit and tie because that's just the way I did business. Now when I go meet with my landlords, I look like this. And I'm like, too bad, this is what I look like. You want to do business with me? But I also used to sit at home and I would wake up in the morning. Again, I owned the stores at this time and I would put on a suit and tie to get into like the mind frame to go work.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I get that. There's many people that still believe that. Not saying it's right or wrong, who believe like the way you dress will dictate your success for the day.
Yeah. And it took me years to get out of that. Like I was so trained to suit, tie. I don't think I would put on a tie to sit at home, but I literally would put on dress pants and like a dress shirt.
Wow.
Just to like feel like, okay,
I'm at work.
I'm at work.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's taken me, now I've owned the stores for like 13, 14 years. So it took I call it a metamorphosis, like metamorphosing, like transitioning into
A butterfly.
kind of like a butterfly. I was going to say some
Beautiful cocoon.
just transitioning in general, but basically becoming a video game star.
Wow.
It took me years to like fully embrace it.
Certain parts that I stick with. I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I keep on my shoes until I stop working, and that for me is normally typically 11:30 midnight or so, and I just sit there with my shoes on. Even if I'm wearing shorts or no shirt, I always have a pair of shoes on, because that's when I get lazy, is when I take off my shoes.
I work with shoes on too.
Okay.
Even in the house.
In the house, me too. Okay.
I'm similar to that. Like when the day is over, I sit down, kick off shoes, then I can relax.
Yeah, it's like already middle of the night.
Like 11:30.
Just in time to put it back on in a few hours.
I know. For
guess-
like a half an hour.
Yeah.
I guess before you guys kind of got into like your careers, did you ever feel like you were glued to something before gaming, like that you want to do?
Totally. I mean, Ricky and I surfing the beach, that was very huge for us. That's, I'd say, something Ricky and I mean, we could argue that we bonded over that before gaming. Not much longer, because once we started hanging, we quickly realized we like gaming as
You guys
well.
like farts and games.
Totally. But surfing is something that kind of brought us together. That's what I was on the surf team for 4 years. Ricky was on the team.
We were going to travel. We were literally had trips planned.
Yeah. Tons of trips.
Do you guys still go surf?
No.
When was the last time you surfed?
6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So once in a while, we'll still go down there.
Ricky and I used to escape to it was a different time back then.
It was a different time.
His parents would be staying at Ricky's house in high school, and we wouldn't think to tell a soul. We'd just wake up at 3 a.m, go disappear to Mexico and go surf in the pitch black, foggiest fog you've ever seen. Nobody around.
K38.
Just pooping on the side of the road at K38. And I remember, Ricky, we drove home one day, and I remember we were so tired, but it was, have you ever been so tired you're like, I feel like I'm like possessed. Like I can't open my eyes, because if I close them for a second, I'm out. And I remember Ricky and I driving home from Mexico in the middle of the day, and both of us were so zonked. And I was like, I'm going to stay awake for my friend. And I literally remember Van Halen, we were turning it up as loud as we could to not fall asleep. And I look over at Ricky and I'm like, I don't think I can make it. And I'm just like, and I'm literally blinking in and out of sleep, and I see Ricky doing the same thing, driving 70
It's so dangerous.
on the freeway. This was high school.
Yeah, this
horrible idea.
Yeah.
Driving 70 miles per hour. I know.
You have to pull over.
I know.
It's the only solution.
I know.
Coffee doesn't work. Window down doesn't work. Music doesn't work.
We absolutely, positively, every kid out there listening, adult, pull over, take a snoozer. But it was, we were dumb high school kids. And I remember that vividly, because I always think of my kids driving. That's the first thing I think of, like, man, I hope they don't ever do something like that. Because, dude, we could have been.
Oh, dude, easily. Once we hit like out the freeway, I was like,
Yeah, we were like so close. Like, just like, we're almost. And I was like, I literally, Ricky, I'm trying. Ricky, I promise you I'll stay.
we passed out for till the next day. And we got home at like 3.
I've had that experience where I've actually fell asleep on the freeway while driving.
Oh, yeah.
From work.
Yeah.
And I was working probably about an hour and a half away from where I was currently living, which is like Huntington Beach. I was going to Agoura Hills, but in that job, I worked about an 8-hour to 9-hour day. And as soon as it hit 2:30 to 3:30, I looked at the traffic, and all the major freeways were stacked, red, and it said 4.5 hours to get back home.
Brutal.
And I'm already on like a 9-hour day, and then I had to wake up at probably 4:30, 5:30 to get there on that time. And so I already knew I was going to be tired. So I tried to push it to get home, and I fell asleep over off of Cherry and Orange Ave.
Oh, yeah, right there. That's right where
And I dozed off for about 10 seconds, going 60.
That's all you need sometimes.
10
I've had
seconds.
that happen. I pulled into like Walmart parking lots, fell asleep for like a half an hour, and your mind just
mentally
resets.
And it's not only like a disappointment in myself because I tried to push it. It was more of like I put somebody else's life in danger as well.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, that is
Right?
the worst part.
Not only am I trying to just like, all right, I'm just trying to survive, work, get through it.
Yeah.
I also didn't put into perspective like other people on the road.
You never do, sadly.
And so right before I got like hit, right, I slammed on the brake. I nodded up, slammed on the brakes, and all you hear is, and there's just no stopping my car. Probably hit her car around 35 miles an hour, just enough to like
Okay. Yeah, and a good
total
spook.
my car.
Yeah.
And thank God she was okay.
Good.
Everybody was all good, not. And she walked away. She drove away. She was all good. We got her insurance and all that stuff. But that experience alone made me change careers. Not change careers, but changes where I worked. And just pursue something closer to home. Like I was like, I'm never driving on the freeway again.
Our buddy Andy was driving a classic Mustang, fell asleep on a freeway, and you know where like the center divider has like kind of a little arch to it before you hit it. He hit it on like a turn while sleeping, and his vintage Mustang did a kickflip and landed it. And that's what woke him up. A full barrel roll. Well, I mean, obviously he didn't keep going. He stopped and nearly died. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't even his car either. It was his sister's.
Like a nice Mustang too.
Yeah. As soon as I knew that, like that was like one of the perspectives that I had, I was like, there's just no way I'm ever doing that again. Being tired while driving. I did find one method that did work while I was driving to Arkansas.
I told you.
48 hours. Sunflower seeds.
Yes.
Ricky told me sunflower seeds.
Just keep eating.
It works, dude.
Never stop eating.
My dad told me, I was like, it doesn't work. I was like, oh my gosh, it's working.
You put the sunflower seeds in your eyeballs.
I promise you.
Clockwork Orange.
Something about it.
I promise you, I was alone on that drive.
We know. Poor guy.
I ate so many sunflower seeds. My cheek was
dude,
raw.
It'll raw you out. It'll raw dog you, dude. Yeah. It's like eating sour Skittles for too long. You look at your tongue after sour Skittles for an hour, you're toast.
Dude, I was so happy when he made it to Arkansas with my truck. But then remember we almost got taken out like 5 minutes after he got there?
Yeah.
And I wasn't even driving.
I was driving. I literally like, literally, we almost got taken out. We had
probably 50 miles an hour a car.
Rick was right in front of us in a Jeep.
Rick.
Yeah, Retro Rick. And it turned green and he went and then we started going and we just hear honk and I'm like, I think was that you that told me to stop? Like,
I was in the front with you.
And I just slammed on my brakes. The car was probably like not even an inch.
Like Curtis's wiener size away from going right by. Like,
yeah, but it was crazy. Like that car did not care.
Stop. It's like his brakes went out. He was just like, yeah, I'm going.
and then we go see Rick. He's all happy. He's like, hey, yeah, you guys made it.
Truth be told, that was the situation where the guy was going so fast and honking.
So fast.
Maybe his brakes were out.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like, I can't stop. And, so I don't know. I never answered the question.
Yeah. What would you have done? I mean, I can answer for myself, but how about you?
I'll go quick. If gaming never existed, I know I'd be doing something within the YouTube realm as well. I've always had it in me to like want to entertain in some way because even before YouTube or video gaming stuff, I was always, playing music at shows, everything that I did, I always wanted to entertain in some way. I learned that by looking at old videos of myself as a kid, just being stupid on camera. That's what I like to do. I can't say what it would be about. It could have been about surfing. It could have been about collecting.
Riffy Pie.
Do you think you would have
PewDiePie's alternate channel?
Do you think at the time of like where skateboarding was, do you think you would have took that a little bit more seriously?
I think I would have took skateboarding if I did it to a more comedic level because I was good, but I was never good enough to stick out as far as like being a pro. Yes, I was great. I could do all the best, known normal tricks, but I was never good enough to do anything with that as far as being a pro. So I think I might have taken it to like a YouTube entertainment. There's a channel I watch. His name's Bubby Toad, a good friend of ours, and he has a like a shorts channel. He does other stuff too, but a YouTube channel, and it's just pure skateboarding comedy. But it's just so funny, all extreme, and that's the kind of stuff I like. So it'd probably be something like that.
Yeah, and like obviously you're in the career that you are in now. Do you think that you would always want to still have something outside of that, as like being your own boss?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like my day job, it's a great job. I won't, it pays very well. It's a very good job, but I still can't even let it go, even though my, editing, everything revolving on video games, there's Whatnot, there's the convention, there's YouTube sponsors, all that is more money than making my day job, but I still keep the day job because there's something about me that still likes that piece of like, I know
security.
there's security, but I still, no matter what, I feel like I'm always, well, here's a good example. Since I was a kid, once I got a job, I've never not worked multiple jobs ever in my life. Since the day I got a job, I started working multiple jobs. So it's just in me.
Cutting that cord, like that when I was talking about the metamorphosis thing, it is a very scary thing. Yeah. When that security, that paycheck is gone, it is. Now I could never imagine going back to that, to be honest. Once you're done it long enough, you're like, I could never go back to working a job.
Yeah.
Couldn't have anybody tell me what to do. That's what it comes down to. I just wouldn't deal well with it.
I'm luckily in a place, my wife's very aware of this. Like the people that I have that are my boss or tell me what to do, they're all very aware of what I do in my regular world with YouTube and everything. And they're very not tell you what to do. there's the work. I know you're going to get it done. Nice.
But also you operate at the expectation of like, you're not only representing your brand, but you're representing their brand.
Totally.
Right. And you treat that with the utmost respect.
Totally. I get everything done, do it right.
Then that translates to why you can do that. Right.
Yes.
Now, if you were just like, F this, F that, right. And then you had that as your, concept behind it, I don't think they would be as too user friendly with you.
Yeah, no, I know. Is Blake a good employee?
He's a great employee.
Oh, I love that. I could see in your eyes that you truly meant that. I like that.
Yeah. And the reason he's a good employee, though, is because I don't have to tell him what to do all the time.
There you go. And that's some of the best employees.
A great employee. And that's probably why you guys all work and, maybe you're great employees. Maybe for you, too, because you have like an entrepreneurial mindset when you're at your job. Yes. Sometimes that's the best thing. And I've always said that there's two types of employees. There's the type that don't do anything when nobody's around and just stand around,
and then expect expect the world from you.
Yeah, and they're like, I'll look at my camera sometimes. I'm not going to call out any of my employees.
Yeah, get them, bro.
Don't talk about. I was literally in his backstory, and he's like, I was watching you.
Yeah, and they'll, it's usually with newer employees. So just like they're like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to stand here. And I always say, I'm like, there's a million things to do, and if there isn't, I don't know. You find something to do. Something you think, I don't know.
Go clean something.
Yeah, like, or take on something that you might want to take in a different direction. Right?
So I can only make a list of so many things to do. And this is for like all jobs. But the second type of people is the type of people that just feel like, okay, I understand what's going on at this organization or job or wherever you work. I want to be a part of that and I can contribute in a million different ways,
Yeah.
I like the second type of people the best. And Blake is one of those. Blake will
That's awesome.
I don't have to tell him to do anything. He just knows there's stuff to do and he'll do it.
I think as long as like I had like a structure to do something, that's why I like my day job, is because it gives me structure to have a purpose to do something. If I was fight or flight, like if I had to like do something and be my own boss, I could figure it out. Like I've always been like, I'm a big procrastinator. I think it's just more like the ADD side of me. It's like, but as soon as I get focused, I'll do 10 things at once and it'll be all done in the day. Right. But if I don't have that structure, it's a little tougher for me, but I also don't need medication to say like you need to focus. Like I don't need Adderall and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't doing anything related to gaming, which I mean, I would pretty much went into sports in some facet. I would have probably done like some type of sports training in baseball or soccer or something like that. I would have probably been healthier, right?
Well, because you played baseball in college, didn't you?
Yeah, I played baseball in college. I should have took a little bit. Catcher in third. I think
just like mom.
Dang it!
I had to walk him into that one. I thought that one coming from 10 minutes ago.
You're not a pitcher, you're a catcher.
Yeah, I was a catcher, right?
Cool. It's good information.
Sons of a gun.
We love you.
I think I would just pursue that a little bit more seriously than
I can tell you're athletic, even though you say your size, but it's like you're still an athletic guy. I can
hand-eye coordination translates to everything.
Because Curtis and I have golfed before, and he's like a pretty natural golfer too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you flexible?
Huh? Yeah, pretty flexible.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my knees and everything are pretty good. Like that doesn't sound right either. My hips are worse for wear. I'm just kidding.
Even worn.
But I think that like just because just being in like college athletes, that determination and all that stuff, I would have probably just translated into that.
That's awesome.
I did want to do more like engineering side of things, but I ended up going to like what my dad does, which is land surveying. But
it's crazy, and the weirdest thing to think about in all this, only Ricky and I would know each other in this room.
Oh, that is.
Isn't that
crazy.
like almost sad to think, or weird to think that like if I didn't decide to say, Ricky, we're filming it and putting it on YouTube.
That was a long time ago.
We may never, if my brother didn't introduce me to Ricky way back then, we probably would have never known each other. It's just such a weird thing to unravel pieces. Yeah. And to be like, whoa, none of my life would be completely different.
I don't know, because I didn't always go to the swap meet for games either, right? So like, I mean, I like Ricky. He said he picked up tools and.
But you said hi to us because you knew the channel.
Yeah, because I just came across
you might not have.
Yeah, but I feel like we would have crossed paths eventually. Like we would have seen each other.
That's wishful thinking, Curtis.
But I like it.
Maybe it was meant to be, is what you're saying.
Right. And I like every consequence
in a multiverse somewhere. Like I became a mechanic, you were a mechanic, and something like that.
Curtis,
nice.
Curtis, a total opposite fitness trainer.
Our own churro stand.
Ricky's running the churro stand in the swap meet. That's how we meet him.
Yeah,
let's go.
No, what if we all just became Dusty but never found games?
Dusty would be a fun life to live.
dude,
Yeah, I might have
eccentric.
gone into that.
A professional waxer.
It was
Yeah, but that storage unit hunting is pretty fun. What he does.
Yeah.
I do. It's a lot of work what he does. That's one reason.
It is. It's
not that I don't like work, but that is a different type of work.
I mean, look at him. Not in a negative
Yeah.
way. He that man looks like he works. Look at his hands.
yeah, it is
that
a
boy
constant
works.
hustle, move,
Yeah.
nonstop.
He is a working man.